On a certain day, Shankaran Pillai was going home. 7:30 in the evening. There are rules at home. You know, every home has some rules, otherwise they can't be a home. Some rules, right? May not be written down, but there are rules. In his home, the wife's rules are 8 o'clock he must be home. He saw still there is time. He doesn't want to go even a minute early. So he thought there's still time. So he walked into a local bar, thinking he'll just have a quick drink and then go home. Well, he had a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink. Then he looked at his watch. It says 2 a.m. You know, drinking people are like yogis, they're timeless. I see there's a lot of appreciation. So, he got off his tall stool of the bar stool. It's an unfair world, it's a completely unfair world. You expect a man to walk on a round planet and the damn thing is spinning, you're supposed to walk on that. Only when you have a few drops extra or a couple of drops missing between your 2 ears, suddenly you realize the planet is round. With great difficulty, he was trying to find his way back home. He took a shortcut through a garden and unfortunately he fell headlong into a rose bush. His face became a mess. He gathered himself, somehow went home, and those damn keyholes, they made so small, you know. It took another 20 minutes to find it. Somehow he went in, crawled up, went into the bathroom, looked at himself in the mirror, complete mess. So he opened the medicine cabinet, took out some medicine, plaster, band-aid, everything. He fixed himself, then slowly crawled into the bed. Fortunately, the wife is a big sleeper, so she crawled in and fell asleep. Morning 8 o'clock, the wife took a bucket of cold water and threw it on his face. What about it? He woke up. Why? It's only Sunday. She said, you fool, again drinking? He said, honey, 6 months ago I promised, since then I have not touched a drop. These are domestic conversations, okay, I'm just exposing. I have not touched a drop. She grabbed him by the shirt and took him into the bathroom and showed him. All the plaster was on the mirror. Now, this is the whole problem. You feel unpleasant, you think, this one has to be fixed. You feel unpleasant, you need to think that one has to be fixed. You feel unpleasant, you think the whole world has to be fixed. No, I'm asking you a simple question. If you are feeling any level of unpleasantness, stress, anxiety, anger, fear, whatever nonsense, rubbish, whatever is happening within you, who should be fixed? If something is unpleasant here, who should be fixed? Oh, if you understand this much, this is transformation, you know. This is fantastic, in 10 minutes, this is great transformation. If you if you understand this much, this needs to be fixed, not something else, the world will change. Right now, everything that we are doing on this planet is in pursuit of human well-being. In the last 150 years, with the aid of modern science and technology, we have done too much external engineering, too much, which has rendered us into a certain level of comfort and convenience. We have comforts and convenience no other generation could even imagine, isn't it? Yes or no? The level of comfort and convenience in which you and me right now existing here, no other generation could ever even imagine. We are the most comfortable generation ever. Do you agree with me? Physically. But can we claim we are the most peaceful generation, or joyful generation, or loving generation, or ecstatic generation? No. In many ways, we are becoming the most neurotic generation. We are complaining about everything and anything like never before. Yes? We are complaining about everything like never before in the world, though we are the most comfortable. Definitely, materially you're living better than your father and your grandfather, aren't you? Yes or no? Unless your grandfather happened to be the Maharaja. Unless that, otherwise all of you are. In fact, what royalty could not afford 100 years ago, today an average citizen has, isn't it so? All of you driving chariots with 100, 200 horses. You are. So, it's not that there's something wrong with life. It is just that fundamental faculties of life are not taken charge of. This is an evolutionary problem in a certain way. See, between you and a chimpanzee, the DNA difference is only 1.23%. 1.23% is not much of a difference, isn't it? Physiologically, the difference between you and a chimpanzee is only 1.23% in the DNA content. But in terms of intelligence and awareness, we are phenomenally different from a chimpanzee. So you have an intelligence for which you don't have a stable enough base. It is your intelligence which is torturing you right now. If we take off a part of your brain, I think most of you will be quite peaceful. Really. Yes or no? This is why a whole lot of people are saying, I want to be like a child. Even spiritual leaders going and saying, I am a child. See, suppose you are stuck. Let's say your body or your mind stayed at the age of 6. You're a child. Is it a great state to be, I'm asking? You may think you're spiritual, I will call you retarded. Yes or no? You want to be a 6-year-old child, I'm asking you? Because almost every adult is saying, child, being a child is beautiful. Because they've forgotten what it means to be a child. Child means when somebody says wake up, you have to wake up, somebody says go to sleep, you have to go to sleep, go to school, get back, eat all the damn things that you don't like. When you were a child, you desperately wanted to grow up as quickly as possible, isn't it? Now you want to become a child because you messed up your adulthood. Whoever messes up this wants to be somewhere else. A whole lot of people say, no, I'm not interested in all this, I want to go to heaven. Why? Because the advertisements always said, heaven is a very pleasant place. If we had told you from your childhood, God lives in heaven, but it's a horrendous place, do you want to go there? Please tell me sincerely. No, we'll pray from here only. We don't want to go there. Because they've advertised that it's a very pleasant place, lot of people who made a hell out of themselves here want to go somewhere else. Those who want to go to heaven must go, isn't it? They won't go, that's the problem. If those who want to go to heaven go, those who want to be here can create a heaven here. Now, those who have made a hell out of themselves, they don't go. They keep on talking about going, but they don't go. If you're so sure you are going to a better place, you must leave today. You should not postpone your appointment with God. I'm asking you, if you have an appointment, forget about God. If you have an appointment with the local minister or prime minister, somebody, you would like to jump the queue and get there quickly, isn't it? Even a cinema ticket, if you're standing in a queue, you would like to jump and get there quickly, isn't it so? So if you have an appointment with God and you're so sure, why are you postponing it? You must go today. Okay, I'm saying, your mind is full of all kinds of rubbish picked up from here and there. Just now we were talking just outside, but somebody said something 5,000 years ago, somebody said something 3,000 years ago. With all due, with greatest respect to all of them, do you believe that 1,000 years ago, people were way smarter than what you and me are today? Do you believe so? Huh? I'm asking you. If you believe so, it's unfortunate because life seems to be evolving. But some people are not. Some people seem to be, those who want to be children now, after they've grown up, they're retarding consciously. They're trying to somehow wrap themselves in a situation where they will not grow. So essentially, it's your own intelligence turning against you. If you had come like an earthworm or a grasshopper or a bird or a tree, you would be quite fine. Because you have entrusted with such a huge intelligence, this has become your problem, isn't it? You know, last year, in the month of August, we were trekking in Tibet. I'm in a tent. So, another person is cutting an apple, and there's one more person. You know, one of those new porcelain knives which are supposed to be very sharp. So this person is cutting an apple and the other person says, "It's a very sharp knife, be careful." It irritates me. A knife is supposed to be sharp, otherwise why will I call it a knife? Something is blunt, I don't call it a knife. It's supposed to be sharp. And this is… if it's a child, yes, I would also say, or I would go and take away the knife, that's different. This is a full-grown man. I looked at it, he's not handling a satellite or a earth mover or something. It's just a knife. Well, I continued with my work. Another 2 minutes later, she says again, "It's a very sharp knife, be careful." I said, "Come on, he's a full-grown man, leave him alone. He should know how to handle a knife by now." "No, Sadhguru, it's a very sharp knife." Then I continue with my work, and then she whispers so that I don't hear, "Very sharp knife, be careful." In 2 minutes, he cuts his hand. And I say, okay. Maybe he needed so much instruction about this. This is all your problem is. You have a sharp intellect, but not a steady enough hand. Now you're cutting yourself all the time. People come to me and say, "Sadhguru, I can't bear with my boss, my mother-in-law, she's torturing me, my husband is impossible, my wife, oh." So I tell them, "Don't worry, you come here. Your boss, your mother-in-law, your husband, your wife, nobody will enter this ashram. Don't worry. I will give you a nice place to stay, good food to eat. Don't have to do anything, no work, nothing, just stay in your room. Whenever I come and check, you must be joyful. That's the only condition. If you're miserable, I don't believe in feeding misery. You're joyful, for the rest of your life will bow down and take care of you. Oh, you leave them for 24 hours in one place. You must see the circus, okay? When you're alone, if you're miserable, obviously you're in bad company, isn't it? Isn't it? Somebody is with you and you're miserable, you can always say it's because of this person. You're alone and you're miserable means you're in bad company, you need to fix it. You must understand this much. If you understand this much, then it's very simple. You would look inward. Then he looked at his watch. It says 2 a.m. You know, drinking people are like yogis, they're timeless. I see there's a lot of appreciation. He saw still there is time. He doesn't want to go even a minute early. So he thought there's still time. So he walked into a local bar, thinking he'll just have a quick drink and then go home. Well, he had a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink and a quick drink. On a certain day, Shankaran Pillai was going home. 7:30 in the evening. There are rules at home. You know, every home has some rules, otherwise they can't be a home. Some rules, right? May not be written down, but there are rules. In his home, the wife's rules are 8 o'clock he must be home. So, he got off his tall stool of the bar stool. It's an unfair world, it's a completely unfair world. You expect a man to walk on a round planet and the damn thing is spinning, you're supposed to walk on that. Only when you have a few drops extra or a couple of drops missing between your 2 ears, suddenly you realize the planet is round. With great difficulty, he was trying to find his way back home. He took a shortcut through a garden and unfortunately he fell headlong into a rose bush. His face became a mess. He gathered himself, somehow went home, and those damn keyholes, they made so small, you know. It took another 20 minutes to find it.